"Please don't fire Mommy," the little girl whispered to the CEO, and Christmas changed everything. Snow fell softly outside the tall glass windows of Hawthorne Industries, the city's most powerful corporation, where dreams were either made or crushed in the gleam of fluorescent lights. Inside, employees rushed to finish year-end reports, their hearts heavy with exhaustion and fear of layoffs before Christmas. Among them was Grace Miller, a kind-hearted single mother who had joined the company 3 years ago after her husband died in a car accident. She worked as an assistant in the marketing department, always the first to arrive and the last to leave. Her life revolved around her 7-year-old daughter, Lily, a bright little girl with golden curls and a heart too pure for the harshness of the world. Grace often brought Lily to the office after school, letting her sit quietly in the corner with crayons and paper while she typed furiously, trying to meet impossible deadlines. But that December, the atmosphere was colder than the winter wind. Rumors of mass layoffs spread like wildfire. Christmas, it seemed, would not be kind this year. At the top floor, behind a heavy mahogany door, sat Ethan Hawthorne, the CEO himself. Known for his ruthless efficiency, Ethan had built his empire on precision and discipline. To the world, he was a success story. To his employees, he was a storm in a tailored suit. Grace feared him, as did everyone else. She had seen people fired without warning, escorted out by security while Ethan never looked up from his phone. That morning, the department head called Grace into the conference room. She knew what was coming. The whispers, the sympathetic looks. It was all too familiar. "Grace," her boss sighed, "I'm sorry, but the company is cutting costs. Your position." Her heart sank. She didn't even hear the rest. Her hands trembled, but she managed to ask, "Please, can I speak to Mr. Hawthorne, just once?" Her boss hesitated but agreed. As Grace stood outside the CEO's office, Lily clung to her coat, sensing something was terribly wrong. Ethan's deep voice called from inside, "Come in." Grace stepped in, her pulse hammering in her ears. The office was grand, cold, sleek, impersonal. Ethan didn't look up at first. "Make it quick, I'm in the middle of..." Then he noticed Lily. The little girl's big blue eyes met his, filled with innocence and quiet fear. "Sir," Grace began softly, "I know I'm just one of hundreds of employees. But I need this job. It's Christmas. Her voice broke. She swallowed hard, forcing a shaky smile. "I'll work nights, weekends, anything. Please." Ethan leaned back, expression unreadable. "Grace, it's not personal. Numbers don't lie. The company needs to survive." Lily tugged at her mother's sleeve. Her tiny voice, barely a whisper, cut through the silence. "Please don't fire Mommy." Ethan froze. The words hit him like a blow to the chest. For a moment, his usual icy composure faltered. He looked at Lily, then at Grace, her tired eyes, her trembling hands, the desperate hope in her face. Memories he had buried long ago stirred within him. His own mother, pleading at a landlord's door when he was just a boy, asking for one more week's rent. He had vowed never to be that powerless again. And yet, here he was, standing on the other side of that same door. Ethan cleared his throat, forcing his voice steady. "Grace, I'll review your file. You'll get an answer by tomorrow." She thanked him through tears, clutching Lily's hand as they left. That night, Ethan couldn't sleep. He sat in his dark apartment overlooking the city lights, haunted by the little girl's whisper. He poured himself a drink but set it down untouched. For the first time in years, the numbers on his reports didn't make sense, not because they were wrong, but because they didn't feel right. The next morning, he called HR and cancelled all pending terminations. His assistant gasped in shock. "All of them, sir?" "Yes," he said firmly. "Merry Christmas." Later that day, Grace arrived at work expecting the worst, but instead, she found a note on her desk in Ethan's precise handwriting. "Keep doing your best, Ms. Miller. Your position is safe." Her knees went weak as she whispered a thank you to heaven. In his office upstairs, Ethan glanced at the Christmas tree his staff had decorated, a thing he usually ignored. But now, for the first time in years, he walked closer to it. A single ornament caught his eye, a small glass angel. He didn't know who had placed it there, but somehow, it made him smile. Days passed, and the air inside the company shifted subtly. Smiles returned. The tension faded like fog under sunlight. Ethan noticed it too. People seemed happier, more alive. Grace worked harder than ever, quietly grateful for the second chance she'd been given. But she couldn't shake the feeling that she owed Ethan something more than words. On Christmas Eve, the office closed early, and most employees rushed home to their families. Grace, however, stayed behind to finish a project. Lily was with her, sitting by the window, watching the snow fall. Around 7 o'clock, the lights in the building flickered. A storm was brewing outside. Ethan, who had returned from a late meeting, found the building nearly empty except for one light glowing from the marketing floor. Curious, he walked down and found Grace still working, her hair loose, eyes tired but determined. "You're still here?" he asked, surprising even himself with how gentle his voice sounded. She jumped slightly. "Oh, Mr. Hawthorne, sir, I was just finishing the campaign draft. I didn't want to leave it incomplete." He looked at the little girl curled up on the couch, fast asleep under her mother's coat. Something about that image, the exhaustion, the quiet devotion, moved him deeply. "Go home, Grace," he said softly. "It's Christmas Eve." She smiled faintly. "Thank you, sir. I just wanted to make sure everything's perfect." Ethan hesitated. "Do you have any family nearby?" Grace shook her head. "Just us. We were going to stop by the church later for the free Christmas dinner." Ethan's jaw tightened. "You mean, the charity dinner?" She nodded shyly, embarrassed. Without thinking, he said, "No. You're not spending Christmas there." Before she could protest, he added, "Both of you are coming with me." She blinked. "Sir, I insist," he said. "Consider it a company dinner." Hours later, Grace found herself and Lily standing in awe inside Ethan's luxurious penthouse, its massive windows overlooking a city bathed in lights. A grand Christmas tree sparkled in the corner, untouched, lonely, until Lily gasped in delight and ran toward it. "It's beautiful," she whispered. Ethan watched, unsure what to do with the warmth spreading in his chest. For years, Christmas had meant nothing to him, just another day to close deals. But now, as he saw Lily's laughter fill his silent home, he realized how empty success had become. Grace helped in the kitchen, awkwardly at first, then more relaxed as Ethan joined her. They cooked together. She teased him gently about not knowing how to peel potatoes, and he laughed for the first time in months. Dinner was simple: roast chicken, mashed potatoes, and store-bought pie, but it felt like a feast. Afterward, Lily handed Ethan a small piece of paper she had drawn on. It was him, standing beside Grace and Lily under a Christmas tree. "That's us," she said proudly. "You're smiling now." Ethan's throat tightened. "Thank you, sweetheart," he said softly, and something broke open inside him. He realized, this warmth, this laughter, was what he had been missing all along. Not more money, not more power, but connection. As the clock struck midnight, snow began to fall again outside. Grace whispered, "Merry Christmas, Mr. Hawthorne." He turned to her, eyes glistening. "Ethan," he said quietly. "Call me Ethan." Their eyes met, and for a heartbeat, the world seemed to pause. He didn't see her as an employee anymore, but as someone who reminded him what it meant to be human. When morning came, Lily woke up to find presents under the tree with her name on them. Ethan had stayed up all night wrapping them, something he hadn't done since he was a child. Grace stood in the doorway, watching, her heart full. That day, laughter replaced loneliness, and kindness conquered pride. Ethan offered Grace a promotion and told her she'd never have to worry again. "You reminded me of something I forgot long ago," he said. "Christmas isn't about what you have, it's about who you hold close. Grace smiled through tears. And you reminded me that miracles still happen. As the three of them stood by the window, watching the sunrise over the snowy city, Lily held Ethan's hand and whispered again, "Thank you for not firing Mommy." Ethan chuckled, ruffling her hair. "Sweetheart," he said, "I think your mommy just hired me to be a better man." Sometimes, a child's whisper can melt the coldest heart. This Christmas, remember, kindness can change a life forever. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more powerful stories of hope, love, and second chances. Red Heart.